Alright, these are some problems that I would be able to solve if I was taking the test tomorrow. And the first one I would be able to solve is something like x plus 5 times 3x minus 2 times 23x, all of that equal to 0. Well, we can use the zero product property here and say x plus 5 is going to equal 0, 3x minus 2 equals 0, and 23x equals 0. Well, this tells me that x equals 0, x equals 2/3, and x equals negative 5. And there, our problem is solved. And moving on, I'd be able to solve something like x times 3x plus 4 equals 3. Well, I would probably start out by distributing this x through and getting 3x squared plus 4x, and that equals 3. Move this 3 to the other side. 3x squared plus 4x minus 3 equals 0. 3x squared plus 4x minus 3, that's not going to factor nicely. So, if it's me, I'm going right to the quadratic formula. So I get negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 16, minus 4ac, which is negative 36, and that's all over 2a, which here is 6. Now that becomes negative 4 plus or minus, and that looks like the square root of 52 over 6. And that would be the answer. Okay? So there is our problem solved. Now, the next one, this is going to be a fun one. 4 raised to the 2x minus 1 power equals 8 raised to the x over 2 power times 8 raised to the x over 2 power. Well, on this side I get 8 to the x power when I do that multiplication, and over here I get 4 to the 2x minus 1. Well, I don't have like bases, but I could think of 4 as 2 squared, and that raised to the 2x minus 1 power. And 8 is 2 to the 3rd power raised to the x power. So 2 to the 4x minus 2 equals 2 to the 3x power. Well, our bases are the same, so that means our exponents have to be the same. So that means that 4x minus 2 equals 3x. Well, and we can do some quick algebra here, and we get x equals 2. Now, another option would be to graph this and look for the intersection. Right? So this one could become calculator intensive. Alright, so there we seen how to do it by hand, or we could graph this one. And remember, when I want you to graph a solution, I want you to do it on your calculator. Get used to using that technology. Let's see. Next one, x minus 2 squared minus 2 equals negative x plus 3. first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to square this thing out. And that's x squared minus 4x plus 4. It is not x squared minus 4. It is not x squared minus 4. Still minus 2 minus equals negative x plus 3. Let's see. So if I combine like terms over here, I get x squared minus 4x plus 2. That equals negative x plus 3. I move this stuff from the right to the left, and I get x squared, and I'm going to get minus 3x, and I'm going to get, oh, looks like minus 1, and that's going to equal 0. Well, this thing is not going to factor, so how about if I go x equals, oh, let's see, 3 negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 9, minus 4ac becomes plus 4 all over 2a, which is 2. So this becomes 3 plus or minus the square root of 13 over 2. Now the other option, just like in the last one, graph this thing. Okay. Definitely doable with a calculator. It's always nice to sketch what you get for a graph to kind of show me what you did. I like that a lot. So that's another way to solve this thing. Let's see. Our next one. Let's say that you have a friend and his name is Jack. And Jack borrowed some money to buy, oh, I don't know, a video disc player because Jack is feeling old school and he wants the big laser discs. So he borrowed some money from his parents to buy this and said he would make weekly payments of $17. Okay. Now, after 13 weeks, he still owed $544. So, first thing I'm going to say is, can we come up with a formula saying how much Jack is going to owe given a week number? Well, we know that what he started with, let's call it his balance B, is equal to 17 times 13 plus 544. Okay, so 17 times 13 is, let's see, 170 and 51, 221. 221 plus 544. And that becomes 765. So he borrowed a total of $765. So his balance, we could figure out his balance, as being $765 minus 17 times x, where x equals the week number. Okay. So there's a formula for Jack to figure out how many he owes after so many weeks. Now, how much would he owe after 20 weeks? If x equals 20, what does b equal? Well, that would be b equals 765 minus 17 times 20. And that would be 340. So you would have 765 minus 340. And let me think. That's going to be about 425 bucks. So after 20 weeks, he still owes $425. All right. Now, we'll keep this equation in mind. And then we got to ask ourselves, well, Jack would like to know, when is B going to be $100 or less? So in other words, 100, we want it to be less than or equal to 765 minus 17x. Well, that's going to give me negative 665 is less than or equal to negative 17x. Now, if I divide each side by negative 17, I get 39. But what I've got to do is I've got to turn the direction of my inequality. So 39 needs to be greater than or equal to x. And that is in other words, in week 39 and beyond, Jack will owe less than $100. All right. Well, this is going to conclude video number 1. Video number 2, I'm going to solve a couple more equations for you, and then we'll call that good. All right, thank you.